Hi, it's Robbie from PlanetMosh here at the Oramore in Glasgow. Here to see the Temperance Movement tonight. With me I've got 3 members of the Temperance Movement. Can you introduce yourselves to the people?
You introduce us, Robbie, just so
Okay.
we know that you know our names.
Okay, there's Paul. We have guitarist Paul Sayre, bassist Nick Fife, and of course Phil Campbell, vocals, and guitarist and whatever other instruments you play, maracas.
Maracas are a big thing now for me.
How you guys doing anyway?
Right.
This is the start of a, how many date tour is it?
43? Is it 43?
Yeah.
43.
43.
One more than Nick thought.
Yeah, I came off last night and went, well, 41 to go, or 42, and I was out by 1. But, and who knows, there may even be a couple added in. Who knows?
Yeah, man. We're all. I mean, it's going to be great though. I mean, the last tour we did was hard, but it was really enjoyable as well, and it paid off in many ways for us. So this one, you know, we're looking forward to even more. I think it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And you're at Liverpool. That was the first show last night at Liverpool. How'd that go?
Yeah,
Really
that
good.
was great. It was good, yeah. Great crowd and really nice first gig of the tour.
Because I've seen the last tour there. You've actually toured previously, you know, with with festivals and playing with some pretty big acts, the likes of Springsteen, the Black Crowes. That was Hyde Park, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good day. And yeah, we did a festival with Black Rebel, which was really great.
Yeah.
Through summer and a few Primal Scream nights and stuff. So yeah, we've had a good summer.
Because I first heard you guys, there's a bit of a crossover with a few fans from other bands, and that's how I came across you guys.
Right.
That's how we operate. We
Yeah.
hijack other people's fans.
That's it, aye. And then it was a mutual friend of ours, Lisa, who put a video up of yourselves, and then I listened to it, and I said, I didn't recognise that voice. And then I looked at it, I was Phil Campbell, and of course yourself, because I knew Phil for about 5 years ago. Was the first time I saw Phil.
Sure.
Supporting an old school friend of mine.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say his name.
Don't say Foy Vance's name.
Don't say Foy's name.
Anyway,
Doesn't like having his name bandied around.
yeah, and I was wondering why why you went quiet for a wee while, and then this came about. How did you guys actually get together? How did you guys hook up and became the Temperance Movement?
He was trying to make up an interesting
We got together. Luke and I were friends. Still are. And we kind of did a couple of days of just playing guitar together, which we'd never done before. But we knew each other from doing gigs and stuff, and we would sometimes get each other to do each other's shows and stuff if we couldn't make it. And we got together and played guitar for a couple of days, and we'd kind of been talking about things for over a few months, and Luke said as he was leaving my house one day, maybe we should start a band, which it had kind of been going that way anyway, and we got together and started talking about it, and Luke was like, well, you know, if we're going to do it, I know who the singer should be if he's up for it. And that guy wasn't, so we got
You weren't even first choice?
Yeah, no, Phil. Luke knew of Phil from touring and crossing paths. So Luke called Phil. Phil said yes.
Luke had sort of. I think he had this. His idea was to have it as a sort of a real band. So he had me, and he brought me together with Paul and with him, and so it was immediately. It was 3 people, which is a group, and it was so the joint decision making and the sort of collaboration was instantly. Each of us had to just kind of let go of our egos and all that, and just share. and that was the trick of it, like, rather than it be like, you know, like two brothers writing, or you know, there just being one writer and then a band. It was very much like structured as a kind of group effort.
And that's it. That's the end. That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
For yourself, you were used to the solo sort of stuff. Was it an easy transition to make into it?
I've never played with anybody like these guys ever in my
This
life.
guy.
I was just sat here already.
No, then we the three of us had kind of fleshed out some ideas, and you know, but obviously we were three people, not a band.
Yeah.
And so we started thinking about a rhythm section, and there were kind of loads of names that came up that we'd come across, but none of them were really making sense. And then Nick and Damon's names came into the picture, and as soon as
they'd exhausted all the other people I could think of.
Yeah, we called everyone. No, it's just like we were talking about names and people, and
I think there might have been an element in timing, because I think I don't know why Luke popped into my head, but it was one of those, like, I haven't spoken to Luke for a long time. And I think I just sent him a message on Facebook like, how's it going? Yeah. And it was like maybe a week after that, I think he called and said we were putting this band together. So it could have been possibly that I just sort of popped up and said, how's it going? And he went, oh, maybe Nick might be interested. I wasn't.
But then he couldn't turn down the money.
Yeah, there was nothing else going on.
Yeah, for the money.
No, so we kind of got together, did a day of rehearsing, playing and jamming together, and it was
a magical moment.
Yeah, it made sense.
It definitely was, that first rehearsal. So, and here we are, Robbie.
And then you have an EP, the Pride EP, 5-track EP, which ran its course over the last year or so. With the new album now just out, which to people who the Temperance Movement fans, or the ones who are in the group that you call now the Temperance Movement group of people who are the close fans, it became no surprise what was going to be on that album. You know, most of the stuff was on the EP, or it has been played live, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing actually that we kind of toured for 6 months, and the whole thing grew, and people got to know the songs and the band and all that kind of stuff without us having an album out. All they had to listen to was an EP. But then, you know, people came to so many shows and stuff that they started to know the songs. So it's kind of like, you know, I suppose a lot of people these days buy an album and then wonder what it's going to be like live, whereas with us, for a lot of people, kind of the other way round. Even though the album was recorded and we were just figuring out how and when we were going to release it, so we knew that it was there, but the fans didn't. So we'd play shows and everyone was kind of like getting used to these songs and wondering what the album was going to sound like. So it's kind of the other way around, I guess, too.
And to be fair, it does carry off that live vibe that you get. You guys are great live, and I get that on the album. The crossovers.
Yeah, well, we recorded the album totally live.
Yeah.
Just all set up in a room, straight onto tape, no overdubs, no. Do you know what I mean? So it is.
So was it an easy process at the time to do then?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a really intense few days. It was 4 days we had, and we had 16 songs to record, and we did it. We managed to do it. My only memory of it really is when we cut the last one, which was Serenity, and then all going, yeah, you know, because it was over. We'd done it. We've done it. We've caught it.
I think Serenity was one we tried to tackle earlier on. And we generally sort of did 3 or 4 takes of each tune, and usually it would be the first or the second take that would be the keeper. and we went through all the tracks that way, and we got to we'd already tackled Serenity and didn't quite get the one we wanted, and the time we were running out of time, and it was the last one we tackled, and we got that magical one right at the end of the session, and it was a great end.
And we'd done a couple of takes of it. It wasn't that way round, was it? For that time, we'd done a couple of takes, and it wasn't really quite perfect.
It was the very final take of the whole session.
Yes, it was.
And it was literally like, we had 4 days booked. It was sort of like
5 o'clock or something.
Yeah. It was end of the day on the 4th day, and the kind of, the studio, the guy that owns the studio was looking at his watch, kind of like, you guys have got to get out.
Yeah, it was like one more take.
Yeah.
We're like, if we don't get this one, then it's not going to make it on.
That
was a lot.
And we were sitting there going, well, I remember actually having a conversation that was basically like, if we don't get it, we'll just go in. We'll book a day. We'll come back for a day, and we'll sort this song out. But we got it, I think.
I think so. Folk are happy with it. They've been saying to us, the people that we've been playing for, where's the album? And then we get the album to them. They go, I've heard the album. I want a live album now.
No, it's great.
And I just saw the on Facebook? On Facebook, midweek chart. It's floating there. It's floating there and around number 9. So
yeah, it's pretty.
And then it's first week of release.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Totally unexpected for us, but we'll see.
How do you feel about that?
Weekend.
It's very exciting. A lot can happen between now and the end of the week.
Yeah.
But the fact that we've made it in the midweeks in the top 10 is incredible. We didn't expect that. So we'll see.
I think we kind of set out to do this in an old school way, which was by touring, and really sort of like grassroots development of the band. And I think us being where we are in those midweeks shows that it worked, because we've had amazing support from certain radio stations, but none from the national FM stations until now, and those doors are just not because they didn't want to play it, just because we weren't in a position where we could get it to those people, because we were doing everything ourselves, and the Planet Rock playing it kind of happened by accident through someone having just heard it and really liking it there and saying we want to play it, but we didn't have people out there trying to get our stuff on the radio, and we haven't had until very recently. Literally, the last few weeks. So the fact that our album has made it into the top 10 in the midweeks just shows that, if you're the right kind of band and you're going to go out there and just play shows and play shows and play shows and develop as a band, it can still work. And we've kind of, we've put that album there by hard work and touring, really, and not marketing or radio play.
Yeah, some of the fans, I've seen some of the fans get involved as well. Going to the radio stations requesting this. It's been like a huge, there's a huge fan base.
They've been amazing. They've really put themselves out there, and they're passionate about the band, and I think they want us to succeed as much as we want to succeed.
Hey Charlie.
This is like one of those luxury penthouse apartments where the lift comes straight up and just opens into the living room.
And from here, after the tour, what plans have you got in the future of 2014? Do you have anything in the pipeline coming up?
The plan in 2014 is to carry on touring, basically, in a nutshell, and write some more songs, hopefully.
For hopefully another album release, or
no.
Just
for ourselves now. We've made our statement, and now we're just going to become very introverted.
We just do remixes of all those songs.
Yeah. Yes, we're gonna carry on touring. We've already got big touring plans for next
Is
year.
there stuff you can talk about, or is this,
It's nothing earth-shattering. It's just more of the same, really. It's just more.
Visit a few new places.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly further afield.
Yeah, we're
It
gonna.
might involve aeroplanes.
Yeah, I think when you've not got
crossing oceans?
How are you planning on getting there?
What? To Edinburgh. We're gonna kind of do the same sort of touring we've been doing, and hopefully we'll get out to America.
That's something I need to ask you as well. Now, coming from Northern Ireland,
You'll be driving, of course.
any chance that you guys could ever go to Ireland or play Northern Ireland?
oh mate, I'd love to come over to Ireland with the Temperance Movement. It'd be great.
I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know why we haven't been there really.
Really?
It is
Right.
a lot of it seems to be a place that somehow gets overlooked. I think it's obviously to do with what costs of getting there and
Yeah.
the cost of is it worth actually travelling to do
I think.
it and stuff
I mean,
like that, but-
for us as well, because it's kind of the same thing as
Yeah.
we were just saying about radio. Is all the touring we've done up until now really has been because people have come to us and kind of
Yeah.
offered us an option, because we were doing everything very much ourselves. So bizarrely, one of the first places we went to was Sweden, but it's not because we sat down and said we must get to Sweden.
Yeah.
It's because a really cool guy out there called Björn, who has a company called Rootsy, happened to hear the music and kind of was into it, so called us up and said come over. And I guess that at the time when we were planning this touring, the right people in Ireland hadn't happened to hear it yet. So now that we've got a live agent and it's a bit more organised for the next tours and sort of starting next year, I think it'll be a bit more about making sure we're going everywhere, and rather than
Yeah.
just sort of taking the offers that come to us.
We've got to learn whiskey in a jar first as well.
I think that's it then, guys. Good luck for tonight and the rest of the tour, and
Cheers, buddy.
I'll see you again.
Thanks very much.
Take it easy.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks,
brother.
Steve. See you soon. Thanks.
Take it easy.
Cheers, mate.
No.